want to start to passively get into your hips, take your soles of your feet to touch, knees straight open wide for a reclined butterfly pose. You could also take your feet as wide as the mat and let the knees knock in to give your low back some support. And take these first few moments just to settle in. Arriving into the space that you're in. Arriving into your practice and into your body and your breath. So take a scan from the tips of the toes all the way up through the crown of the head. Maybe you notice that a certain area of the body is feeling tense. Send the breath into those spaces. And also turn your awareness inwards. From that place, if you haven't already, start to turn to your breath. So taking deep inhales through the nose and full exhales out. Inhaling through the nose, full breath out. Take 2 more cycles of breath. Just trying to match your inhales with your exhales. After your last cycle of breath, slowly start to bring awareness back into the body, wiggling fingertips or toes. Take the head from side to side. Full body stretch, reach the arms overhead. As you're ready, slowly start to gather your knees towards your chest, rocking from side to side, pressing the low back down into the ground, and eventually come to stillness. Take your arms out to a T or goalpost them, and let your legs fall over to the right and your gaze to the left for a gentle spinal twist. Come back through to center. Take the legs over to your left and gaze over your right shoulder. Come back through to center. Slowly start to roll onto one side and gently press up to your seated position at the top of your mats. Eyes can be closed or you can soften the gaze. Take a few moments letting the shoulders fall down your back. Chin tucks ever so slightly towards the chest, and tailbone is heavy. See if you can focus on the space behind your forehead. We're going to take a few cycles of breath just to ground ourselves down. So you'll inhale for 3, 2, 1, and exhale for 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 3, 2, 1. slowly exhale for 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 3, 2, 1. Take 2 more cycles of this breath. It's box breathing, so the inhales match the exhales. It doesn't necessarily have to be for 3 breaths. It could be for longer or even shorter. After your last cycle of breath, if you choose, you can bring hands to heart center, and we'll set an intention or dedication for our practice this morning. That's something that you can carry with you maybe throughout the rest of this day or throughout the rest of this week. And we'll open with one collective breath together, inhaling through the nose. Open mouth. Slowly start to blink your eyes open if they've closed. And on your next inhale, reach your arms overhead. And on the exhale, take a gentle twist to the right. Just starting to get into our low back. Inhale, come back through to center, reach the arms up. And exhale, twist to the left. One more time on each side. Inhale through to center. Exhale, twist. Inhale, come back through to center. And twist to your left. Come back through to center, reach the arms up. Interlace the fingers, press them up towards the ceiling, lengthen through your side body. And gently start to take it over to the right. Draw your left tailbone down. Come back through to center and take it over to the left. See if you can press as much weight into that right tailbone to lengthen through your right side body. One more time on each side. Inhale through center and take it over to the right. Come back through to center and exhale, take it over to the left. Come back through to center and we'll move into our tabletop position onto all fours. Hands and knees. Shoulders stack over your wrists and hips stack over your knees. We'll start with a couple of cat-cows. So on an inhale, drop belly, lift gaze. Squeeze your shoulders together. And exhale, round through the spine, chin to chest for your cat. Inhale to drop belly. And round through the spine for your cat pose. Take a couple more rounds. This could be with other movements added, maybe hip circles or swaying side to side, or a gentle press to your child's pose. Just starting to move and breathe. So adding in movement. Take one more round of breath and movement of any sort. And then we'll take our knees as wide as the mat. Press your hips back towards your heels for a child's pose. Grounding your forehead down. Know that this pose is always available to you throughout class. If you ever want to take a moment to come back to your breath or to take rest. Plenty of options to take it up a notch. And remember, I always cue the vinyasas through each sun salutation and on each side, but you can always skip them if you'd like to. You don't have to take every single one. And listen to your body. If something doesn't feel right, I try to give different options so that It is truly all levels, but remember, your practice, your choice for each pose. Take one more full breath in. Full exhale out. Slowly start to walk the hands forward. Spread the fingers wide. Tuck your toes under and send your hips up and back to your downward facing dog. Start to pedal out the feet. Take anything that you need. Then when you're ready, come to stillness in your downward facing dog. On your next inhale, rise up to your tiptoes. And exhale, heels fall back. Inhale to lift up. Exhale, heels fall heavy. Last one, inhale, lift up. Exhale, heels fall heavy. Start to look forward. And you can step or hop to the top of your mat to a flat back. Lengthen through the spine, low belly pulls in, gazes forward. And exhale to forward fold. You can bend into your knees as much as you want to. One more time with breath. Inhale to your flat back. Exhale to fold. Drive through your feet. Arms reach up and overhead. And exhale, hands to heart center, or you can bring them by the sides. Taking 3 sun A's to warm things up. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to your halfway lift. And then plant your palms, step back, high plank. You can stay in your high plank, or you can lower down to your knees, deep breath in. On the exhale, squeeze your elbows in, lower halfway down. Inhale to your upward facing dog if you're flowing. Yeah, nice. And send your hips up and back to your downward facing dog. Once you get to your downward facing dog, see if you can press into all 10 finger pads, rooting down into that inner webbing in between the thumb and the index finger, like especially that knuckle of the hand. And then see if you can press your chest more towards your thighs. Take one more full breath in. Full exhale out. At the bottom of your breath, start to look forward. You can step or hop to the front of your mat to a flat back. Nice. Exhale, fold. Root to rise, arms sweep up and overhead. Hands to heart center or by your sides. We'll take 2 more sun A's just like that. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to your flat back. And then plant your palms. You could step or jump back into your low push-up, squeezing your elbows in. Keep the core engaged, keep the legs engaged. Inhale, upward facing dog, shoulders down the back. Downward facing dog. Heels are grounding down, but if they don't push all the way to the ground, that's totally okay. What we're trying to do is lengthen through our back of the legs. But if at any point it feels like it's too much, you can always take that slight bend in your knees. Last breath in. Full exhale out completely. Start to look forward and step or hop to the front of your mat. Exhale, fold. Root to rise, arms sweep up and overhead. Hands to heart center or by your sides. Last one, inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold, trace your midline. Inhale to your flat back. And then plant your palms, step, or if you want to, you could jump back for your low push-up. Squeezing your elbows in as you lower down. Nice. Inhale, upward facing dog. to your downward facing dog. Now that we've kind of started this rhythm, maybe you're starting to open up through your entire body. See if you can pull your low belly in towards the spine and then press your tailbone up towards the ceiling just a little bit more. Nice self-adjustments. Last breath in. Full exhale out completely. At the bottom of your breath, start to look forward and stepping or hopping to the top of your mat. Exhale, fold. Root to rise, arms sweep up and overhead. Bring hands to heart center or by your sides. Bringing your big toes together to touch and heels slightly apart. Dropping into your chair pose. Reaching the arms up. Plug your shoulders down the back. Take a full breath in. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Plant your palms, step back, high plank, or you can lower down to your knees, deep breath in. Squeeze the elbows in, lower halfway down, chaturanga. Inhale to your upward facing dog. If you're flowing, to your downward facing dog. On your next inhale, right leg reaches up and back. Bend into your right knee and stack your right hip over your left. Stay here, take giant hip circles down and around. Down and around. Last one, down and around. Come back to your three-legged dog. And then slowly place right foot towards top of your mat. And let's rise up with breath, high crescent lunge. Taking a moment. If that back knee is bent, there can be a slight bend in the knee, but maybe you see if you can press through the left ball of your foot to straighten it out just a little bit more. Take a full breath in. Full exhale out. Interlace the fingers and then take them behind the head. Find length on the inhale. Then on the exhale, slowly take right elbow down towards right hip, lifting left elbow up towards the ceiling. You're going to feel this in your left side body. Then maybe you see if you can press your left hip forward a little bit more to feel this stretch in your left hip flexor. Take one more full breath in. Full exhale out. Come back through to center. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, cartwheel, hands down, frame out your right foot, step back, high plank, or maybe you drop down to your knees, deep breath in. We move through our chaturanga, or press straight back to your downward facing dog. Take a full breath in, full exhale out. Left leg reaches up and back, three-legged dog. Bend into that left knee, stacking left hip over the right. Nice, stay here, take 3 giant circles with the knee down and around. Down and around. Last one, down and around. Come back to your three-legged dog and then slowly place left foot towards top of mat. Rise up with breath, high crescent lunge. So take a moment, if you find yourself wobbly, maybe you widen your stance out. Find a wider foundation, nice. Take a full breath in. On the exhale, interlace the fingers. Inhale, find length, lift up through your rib cage. And slowly take left elbow down towards left hip, taking the right elbow up. So if you notice that right elbow is starting to move towards your right temple, see if you can pull the right elbow back to feel more in your right shoulder. Last breath in. Full breath out. Inhale, come back up, high crescent lunge, reach the arms up. Exhale, cartwheel, hands down, frame out your left foot. Step back to your high plank. And then your path to downward facing dog. You could move through your vinyasa or you could press straight back. Once you get to downward facing dog, options, you could stay in stillness, cool down, take rest child's pose, Or maybe you drop into a forearm plank or a dolphin pose. So for forearm plank, you'll just roll out to your high plank, drop forearms down, pull your navel towards your spine, or you could come into, see if you can scoop low belly in towards the spine a little bit more. Last few cycles of breath. Then when you're ready, meeting in downward facing dog. Take a full breath in, full exhale out. Start to look forward and step or hop to the front of your mat to a flat back. Nice. Exhale, fold. Bringing your big toes together to touch, heels slightly apart, drop into your chair pose. Shoulders away from the ears. Exhale to fold. Inhale to your flat back. Plant your palms down, step back, high plank, keeping the core engaged. Exhale, lower all the way down, halfway. Upward facing dog if you're flowing. To your downward facing dog. Right leg reaches up and back. Placing it towards the top of your mat, rise up with breath, high crescent lunge. Interlace the fingers, take them behind the head, find length on the inhale. Exhale, side bend over to the right, lift left elbow up towards the ceiling. Try to smooth out the breath. And if you notice that left shoulder is creeping up towards left ear, see if you can drop it down. Inhale, come back up, high crescent lunge. Exhale, cartwheel, hands down, frame out your right foot, step back, high plank, and then your path to downward facing dog. So you could either move through your vinyasa or you can press straight back to downward facing dog. Nice. Left leg reaches up and back. Place it towards the top of your mat, rising up, high crescent lunge. Interlace the fingers, take them behind the head. Find length on the inhale, lift up through your rib cage. Exhale, side bend to the left, right elbow presses up towards the ceiling. See if you can press that right hip forward and then press through the ball of your right foot to straighten out the leg a little bit more. Come back up, high crescent lunge, reach the arms up. Exhale, cartwheel, hands down, frame out your left foot, step back, high plank, and then your path to downward facing dog. So either moving through your low push-up or you can press straight back. Once you get to downward facing dog, same options as before. Cool down, take rest, child's pose. Maybe you drop into a forearm plank, or you could also go into a dolphin pose. If you're in forearm plank, see if you can push through the elbows and the forearms. Pushing the shoulders away. Last cycle of breath. Then let's meet in downward facing dog. Take a full breath in. Full breath out. Start to look forward, and you'll step or hop to the top of your mat, flat back. Exhale, fold. From here, heel to your feet, hips width distance apart. Soften through your knees and grab your opposite elbows and hang out in ragdoll. Sway from side to side, shake your head yes or no. Unhinge the jaw, let everything go. Then slowly release the hands down to the ground. Have a bend in your knees and grab your big toes with your peace fingers. Inhale to your flat back. And exhale, fold. See if you can first make sure that there's not a ton of tugging on your low back. So that slight bend in the knees can help. And then from there, if you want to, bring it more into the backs of the legs. So start to straighten them out and press your hips up towards the ceiling. That will make it so that you feel more in the backs of the legs, your hamstrings. Inhale to look forward. You can release whatever bind that you have. And then your choice, you can either take the hands behind the calves, maybe the ankles, and then gently pull forehead towards shins, or slide palms of hands underneath soles of the feet for gorilla pose, Padahastasana. Toes come up to the wrist creases, and then you forward fold. For whichever option that you choose, let your neck and head be heavy. Releasing whatever bind that you have. Slowly start to roll up one vertebrae at a time till you come up to standing at the top of your mat. Inhale, reach the arms up. Steeple grip the fingers, find length. So thumbs and index fingers. And then side bend over to the right. Press your left hip out and stamp into the left foot. Come back through to center and side bend over to your left. Stamp your right foot down, making a half crescent moon shape. Come back through to center. Start to pitch your hips forward. Arm bones roll back if they can, and maybe you take a slight back bend. Legs are engaged, pressing hips forward. Slowly start to release, bringing hands to heart center. Shift the weight into your left foot and pick right knee up. Stand tall in that right leg. Nice. And then slowly start to take tree pose. Right sole of foot anywhere alongside the inside of the left leg, just not on top of the knee joint. And then when you're ready, start to grow your tree. Slowly start to bring your hands to heart center. Right knee goes out in front, stand tall in the left leg. And then slowly start to place right foot down, shake it out, and switch sides. Shift all of the weight into your right foot. Draw left knee out in front, stand tall in the right leg. If you wobble, that's totally okay. And then slowly start to take your tree pose. Find your gaze point that you're going to look at, an unmoving object. And then start to grow your tree. Slowly start to bring hands to heart center. Take left knee out in front. And then slowly start to place left foot down onto the ground. Shake it out. Start to bring your big toes together to touch and your heels slightly apart. dropping into your chair pose. From here, exhale, forward fold. Heel toe the feet as wide as the mat. Pinch the heels in, toes out, hands to heart center. You can start to come into your squat, whatever that might look like. You could also take a front squat. Nice. And then from here, we have a couple of options. You could stay in your squat, tailbone down, heart is lifted, or if you want to, you could come into a crow pose, hands come down, shoulder width apart, and you can take the knees up towards the triceps. If you're still in your Malasana, maybe you rock from side to side to bring in some movement. And then we'll meet in 3 breaths in downward facing dog. So however you want to get there, you could either step straight back, maybe you take a vinyasa, or however you want to get there. Nice. Meeting in downward facing dog. Take a full breath in. Full exhale out. Right leg reaches up and back. Take right knee to nose, straight through the center line, shift the weight forward. Inhale, take it back. Right knee to nose, straight through the center. Inhale, take it back. Right knee to nose. Hold here, pause. Place your right foot towards top of mat and stay in this low runner's lunge. Pause here. Left hand comes to the inside of your right foot and pick the left arm up, open twist. Yep. From here, right hand comes behind the head, elbow points down. Then inhale, slowly start to open up. You could also do this, with the hand on the opposite. Yep. And just take some spinal twists from here. Yep. So here to here, or here to here. Yep. Last time, if you're moving through that, and then slowly start to take that right hand on the outside of your right foot. Inhale, rise with breath, high crescent lunge. Exhale out to your warrior 2, fin, open up the arms. See if you can anchor down through your back left foot by pressing into the outer edge of your left foot and slightly lift that left inner thigh up. Inhale, flip right palm, reverse your warrior, reach back. And exhale to your extended side angle, right forearm to right thigh, left arm reaches overhead. Inhale to reverse, reach back, stay in your legs. And come into your extended side angle. You could stay in your extended side angle, or maybe you wrap left hand around your right hip crease. Rolling left shoulder back. Slowly start to come back up to your warrior 2. Straighten through your front leg, and then take the right toes, spin them parallel to the front edge of your mat. Yep. So from here, reach the arms up, inhale. And then exhale, forward fold. You're going to slowly start to crawl your hands over to the right. Maybe the hands come to the outside of the right calf, right ankle or foot. And try to keep the hips square and level. And come back through to center. And hands come to the left side this time. Nice. Come back through to center. Forward fold. When you're ready, press into the outer edges of your feet. See if you can take your tailbone up by pulling navel towards the spine. Then everyone will inhale to your flat back. Exhale to fold. Hands to your waist. Inhale, rise all the way up. And we warrior two back to the front. Inhale, flip right palm, reverse your warrior, reach back. And exhale, cartwheel, hands down, frame out your right foot. Step back to your high plank. Hold here in your high plank. Option to stay in your high plank and take right hand to the center of your mat and spin onto the right side of your foot to come into your side plank. I'm dropping my right knee down and lifting, left arm up. Stacking the shoulders. Try to lift your hips up like a rainbow for 3, 2, and on 1, right hand comes or left hand comes down, high plank, and then your path to downward facing dog. Nice. Once you get to downward facing dog, deep breath in. Full exhale out. Left leg reaches up and back. Take left knee to nose or forehead, shift the weight forward. Inhale, take it back. Left knee to nose or forehead. Inhale, take it back. Left knee to nose or forehead. Hold here, pause. Placing left foot towards top of mat. Keep your right hand where it is, or maybe you walk it in a little bit more. And then left arm reaches up, open twist. Keep pressing through the back right ball of your foot, and that is what will help anchor you down. And then from here, left hand comes behind the head, elbow is pointed up. And to exhale, slowly take left elbow down to the ground. Inhale to open. This is getting into our thoracic spine, our mid back. And exhale to close. Inhale to open. And take a couple more on the exhale to close. Keep moving with your own breath. Last one. And then you'll slowly start to take that left hand to the outside of your left foot and rise up, high crescent lunge. Taking a moment to set your stance. Soften the shoulders down the back. Exhale out to your warrior two, fin open up the arms. So gaze is over your left middle finger and you're pressing so firmly through that back right foot that you start to feel that lift of your right inner arch and the right inner thigh. Inhale, flip left palm, reverse your warrior, reach back. Nice, keep the bend in the front leg if you can. And exhale to your extended side angle. Beautiful. Inhale to reverse. Stay in your legs. Exhale to your extended side angle. Hold here. See if you can make your left arm be really light so that both legs are equally getting this weight. And maybe you wrap right hand around your left hip crease to open up through your top shoulder a little bit more. Yep, imagine like someone's gently pressing the front of your shoulder back. That's kind of the action that you're looking for. Inhale, come back up to your warrior two. Straighten through your front leg. Turn your left toes parallel to the short edge of your mat. This time, interlace the fingers at the back. Punch knuckles down. If this is too much on the shoulders, grab opposite elbows. Exhale to forward fold. Shoulder rinse. Try not to lock the legs out too much. There can be a slight bend. And then the weight is shifting towards the fronts of the feet. Yeah, there's a slight tuck of the chin. See if you can breathe into the back of the shoulders. And then you'll slowly release the hands down to the ground. From here, your right hand will come to the outside of your left ankle or foot and reach your left arm up for an open twist. You can kind of see what I'm doing. I'm windmilling. Yep. And come back through to center. Take left hand outside of your right ankle or calf and gently start to roll right arm up. Beautiful. Come back through to center. Hands to the waist. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, warrior two to the front. Inhale, flip left palm, reverse, reach back. And exhale, hands frame out your left foot. Step back, high plank. Preparing for your side plank Vashisthasana. Left hand will base. Slide onto that left knife's edge of your foot and then press it down or onto that left knee. I'm using my shin to anchor myself down. Stacking and then lifting the hips like a rainbow for 3, 2. On one, right hand comes down, high plank. In your path to downward facing dog. As you're ready, slowly coming into a child's pose. Knees as wide as the mat. You have the option to stay in this child's pose, or if you want to bring this into the upper back and the shoulders, you'll bring your hands together at prayer position and then take the thumbs to the back of the neck like I'm doing right here. Gently using the elbows to press down. Getting into the backs of the shoulders and triceps. Taking a couple of moments to ground yourself down. Notice any shifts, or maybe you come back to that intention or dedication that you kind of set at the beginning of class. And then as you're ready, you'll slowly start to walk the hands back. You'll slowly start to roll onto one side of the hips because we're coming into a seated position, taking legs out in front. So from here, we've done some side bending work today. So we're going to work into a deeper variation right here. Remember, you can always adjust. I'll show a couple of different options. But from here, your left leg will stay out and your right sole of foot will come to your left inner thigh. And notice how there's a little bit of a wider angle here. Yep. And then from here, your right hand will come behind the head and you're going to lean back. You're going to start to feel that stretch in your right side body. And then the left hand will come to the outside of your left foot or maybe inside, and you'll gently start to lean back. From here, you have the option to stay Or if you want, start to reach for the outside of the foot, and you'll gently roll back. Slowly start to release. And then we'll start to take Janu Shirshasana, which is just the regular stretch, which is moving forward as opposed to like towards the side body. So we're getting into our left hamstring and then gently kind of opening up through that right hip as well. We'll come back through to center, looking forward. And exhale, slowly release and switch legs. So I'm taking my right leg a little bit more out to the side, and my left sole of foot comes to inside of my right inner thigh. My left hand comes behind the head. I lean back, and then I start to crawl that right hand maybe on the inside of my right leg to find that stretch. Leaning back. And then maybe you start to take left hand to the outside of your right foot. You don't have to take it all the way, just enough to feel a stretch, or keep rolling your left shoulder back and kind of lifting up. Last cycle of breath. And then we slowly start to come out of it. And we start to forward fold just into our hamstring stretch towards our right shin, maybe right ankle, or around the foot. See if you can bring the shoulders in line with one another. Nice self-adjustments. And we'll slowly start to come back up, coming into a butterfly pose, Baddha Konasana. Your soles of your feet will touch, knees drape open wide. Take the hands to the ankles or the shoelace sides of the feet and gently pull heels towards inner thighs. Sitting up tall, inhale. And then exhale, start to hinge at your hips and take forehead towards the feet. So we're rounding through our upper back. Slowly start to look forward. And we release. So options, you could either come into your pigeon pose on the right side, right shin will come parallel front edge of your mat. You'll walk your left leg back, or you can bend into your knees, take the hands behind the hips and cross your right ankle over your left thigh. So either coming into here, or you can come into resting half pigeon, right shin parallel, and left leg goes back and start to forward fold. If this position, sitting up on the hands is too much, you can always come to your back all the way and reach through. If you'd rather not put too much pressure on the hands and the wrists. Taking about 6 more breaths in this hip opener wherever you are. And Evie, if you want to bring this a little bit deeper, you can extend left leg long and then gently take right ankle and right knee, flexing the toe and gently pulling up. As you're ready, slowly start to make your way into a counter pose. For pigeon pose, that might mean coming up onto the hands, tucking, left toes under, send right leg back to take any hip circles. If you are seated, maybe you take both legs out in front and just knock the knees, give them a shake. And then when you're ready, switching sides, either bending into that right knee, pressing left ankle over right, or you can come into resting half pigeon, left shin parallel, and walk right leg back. We have about 6 more breaths if you want to take it to any deeper variations. And then as you're ready, coming into any counter pose, maybe hip circles or taking both legs out in front, knocking the knees. And then as you're ready, we will all meet on our backs for one back bend and moving through our final inversion. So taking any movements that you need before making your way onto your backs. And we're setting up for final back bend of your choice, either a bridge pose, a wheel pose, hands will come alongside ears. If you want something more restorative, feet as wide as the mat, let the knees knock in. If you're setting up for bridge pose or wheel pose, make sure you can graze your heels with your fingertips. Knees are pointed up towards the ceiling, toes are pointed forward. Exhale all the air out. Hands are alongside the body for bridge, alongside ears for wheel. Exhale all the air out. And then press down to rise up. We'll be here for 8, 7, and then squeeze your glutes. Feel the tops and fronts of your legs engage, so your quads. 5, 4, 3, press into all 4 corners of your feet. 3, 2, and 1. Slowly come down. Windshield wiper legs back and forth, pressing low back down into the ground and taking knees from side to side. Setting up for a final inversion of your choice. That could be taking legs straight up towards the ceiling, maybe legs up the wall. You could also take a shoulder stand. Legs will come behind the head, toes come behind the head, taking hands to the low back. If you'd enjoy a longer Shavasana, you can make your way onto your back for your final resting pose or take any last movement. This is more to kind of round out your practice with whatever you might need this morning. We have about 10 more breaths if you're in any inversion. And as you're ready, you can make your way into your final resting pose if you haven't already, for a very well-earned rest. Closing the eyes or softening the gaze over the tip of your nose. Tracing your breath as you inhale. Tracing your breath as you exhale. Slowly start to deepen your inhales. Lengthen through your exhales. Easy movement into the body. Wiggle fingertips and toes, taking the head from side to side. Reach the arms overhead, full body stretch. Wherever you are, and then slowly start to gather your knees towards your chest. Roll over to one side, head resting on bicep. Thank yourself for taking the time today, for making it onto your mat. And then at your own pace, as you're ready, slowly pressing up to your seated position at the top of your mat. Eyes can be closed, or you can soften the gaze over the tip of your nose. Feeling the support of your own self, support of this community practicing together with one another, support of your practice and your breath, hands to heart center. Take an inhale. Open mouth. Thank you all so much for sharing your practice with me and one another this morning. The light in me honors and respects the light in you. Namaste. Have a great rest of your Sunday. Take care of yourself this week.